kind of end this with some resources. Um, I think it's not just enough for us to learn about racism. But we also need to learn how to dismantle racism and how to support organizations that are dismantling racism. So I wrote down a list. So this is one thing, parts of People Schools. We're trying to, if you go to People School, if you live in the DC area, look at local resource and organizations in the top menu bar. You could find all the different organizations working on all different kinds of social justice orgs. And I actually underlined the ones, in case you're not from DC and you're watching this, I underline a lot of these orgs that have national chapters throughout the country. So if you're in Ohio or whatever, you can find a Black Lives Matter chapter. You can find a Black Youth Project, 100, you can find Law for Black Lives, Cop Watch DC, and there's defund campaigns in every state right now. If you want to work for, protecting immigrants of color, you can find, we have Sanctuary DMC, BMV, but there's sanctuary organizations in almost every state and almost every city right now. So you can find these donate to them, show up to the meetings, follow them, amplify them. You want to work on housing. DC Grassroots Planning Coalition has a monthly meeting in DC where you can learn about how to actually help with housing and gentrification, how you can advocate for fair budgets. Fair Budget Coalition is an amazing organization in DC that does that. Focusing on education, continuing education. There's a lot of great organizations. Current Movements does these awesome, plays these what you call documentaries, and then has great panels and stuff. It's a great way to learn. Prologue DC is a nonprofit historian organization that focuses on bringing to life the legacy of segregation in DC. There's a great organization if you have organizations that work. If you want to start building anti-racism policies and work, there's a lot of great anti-racist advocates. This is one of them that you can actually hire, and they'll come in and they'll give trainings. They'll help you kind of with bias trainings, and also how to develop anti-racism policies into your workplace and schools and communities and things like that. So but definitely check out the People School of DC. If you're in the DC area and looking to try to figure it out, if you follow us on Facebook, we try to capture dozens of different social justice events and workshops and actions every week that you can be a part of. And then on a national scale, there's a lot of great organizations that you can check on their website that do a lot of great work. That from Color Change, Equal Justice Initiative, that the Brian Stevenson's organization that does amazing reports, and especially if you want to understand lynching and segregation, dismantling racism. It's an amazing organization that is, does tons of great resources. Race Forward, MTV Decoded, Barrett Institute of Justice. If you want to do research on criminal justice systems, Zen from Howard Zinn's education project has. If you're a teacher and you want to learn how to bring this in your classroom, some really great outlets that you could follow, like the Atlantic. Everyday Feminism is this amazing online platform that is that journalism that just has tons of if you want to learn about anything, any kind of social justice concept, you're gonna find good articles about that. Vox News and Yes are really great at providing overall great coverage on what's happening. And then the People School, as I said, if you want to find, we have pages where you can follow activists. That's a great way to kind of learn a lot. Is to find some really amazing anti-activists, racist activists on social media, like Twitter, Instagram. Follow them, and almost daily, a lot of these people are producing these amazing lessons, and it's a great way to kind of learn, as you go. And then we have reading lists, or teaching and organizing guides, and all our resources and stuff, videos and articles from this presentation are on this website as well. And then, also, we're in every class, we're going to talk about this, but just the need to, understand, try to create your own alternative to calling a police plan. Don't wait till something's happening and then you got to be like, well, should I call my police? Should I call police? What should I do? Wherever you are, there's some really great resources, in DC and Fairfax and Arlington, but anywhere you are, start, making a list of community mediation lines, victim support lines. lines, mental health lines, homeless lines, phone numbers where you can call before the police, because police are there mainly just to diffuse very violent, and dangerous situations, and not social workers. And so call the social workers first. Try to help. Talk to your neighbors, find out the ones that have been in there for a long time and know everyone, and are great resources when someone's maybe there's a situation you need some help with. Call them first. Really, police should be like the last people that you call, and that's only if there's a life-threatening issue, not not an issue that's going to threaten property, but a life-threatening issue. And it's important to understand, to work on our own biases, because a lot of reasons why white people call the police is because they haven't really ever dealt with their internal bias and their internalizations around Black criminality and these myths and stereotypes. So to them, nonviolent situations become perceived as violent, so that's when they call the cops. So that's important for us to do our own internal work as well, so we don't, we can actually make real assessments on what's happening in these situations. And it's a great chart to kind of, help you kind of, it's great to kind of print this chart out. And then if you see something, kind of just go through it, and, you don't need to do this all on yourself. And also have like immigration hotlines, when you see ICE, working in your community, try to, find places. There's a lot of organizations that you can call and give them a heads up, and know that everyone in that area know that there's ICE agents in the area. All right, and then I'll end with my contact information and people school addresses and stuff. And then definitely, if you have any feedback or have any suggestions or anything like that, I'm definitely open for all that stuff. Please give me an email. And thank you all so much for making it through the first class, the first of a lot of classes. So I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you.